Hey my fellow foodies, it's Chef Kevin, and tonight I'm making lamb chops. I have two beautiful lamb chops here, and these are from a rack of lamb, so they're not loin chops, they're rib chops, and these are double. A rack has 8 ribs to it, and these are double. They've already been Frenched, so the fat, or most of the fat, has already been taken off. Now, there's 1,000 ways you can cook ribs, like anything else. And my theory is less is more. Because if you have a nice piece of meat, you don't have to marinate it and add all this seasoning to it. Because you want to taste the meat. And all I'm using tonight is the 2 most common spices in the world, salt and pepper. And it's just like when you go to a fine steakhouse. What do they use? Salt and pepper. You may have a sauce on the side, but it's not cooked in a sauce, or it's not marinated as well. So, let's get right into this. Okay, I patted these down a little while ago. I'm going to do it again, just to take off the excess moisture. Take off the blood that may be on the surface. Okay. I have some olive oil here. I'm going to just pour it on the plate a little bit. Brush it all over the meat. And this is done to crisp up the meat, and it also gives the seasoning a nice sticky surface to adhere to. Sea salt. It's important to season all the sides, not just the top and the bottom. I'm using a liberal amount of salt. Black pepper. Same thing all over. Beautiful. Now I'm going to stick these in the oven under the broiler for about 10 minutes each side. I'm looking for an internal temperature of 135 degrees, and I'll be checking it with my thermometer, and this is going to be medium rare, and it's going to be quite a nice presentation because once I cut them in half, you'll see how beautifully they have cooked. Okay, I'm going to get set up and start cooking. I'm hungry. Now there's a few ways you can cook lamb. You could pan fry it or saute it, grill it on a barbecue or over direct heat, or in the broiler like I'm going to do now. If these were pan fried, it would not work out because they're just too thick to pan fry. Okay. Nicely coated up. Little piece of meat hanging off the side there. Now, to be considered lamb in the United States, it has to be a sheep less than 12 months old. I have a pan underneath the lamb so that the grease, which there'll be a considerable amount of, goes into the pan, not onto the heating elements. And there seems to be at least 3 places that we get our lamb from, even though it's produced all over the world. The 3 most popular sources are Australia, New Zealand, and Colorado. And do you know why? That's because they have the best temperatures and situations for the lamb to survive. Their food is easily made. What they eat is easily made, or grown I should say, in those 3 regions. So that's why you have to watch my channel, because I try to give you interesting facts. And if you're at a dinner party or a social gathering, you can throw stuff out like that and sound halfway intelligent. Okay, I'm going to turn the broiler on now, and hopefully 8 to 10 minutes per side. Okay folks, that was 10 minutes. Looking good already. I put the fat side up first. This way the fat will render out. I'm going to turn it around. Give it another 10. Now I've seen a lot of videos on people cooking lamb chops, and I think they're making a mistake, because a lot of them create a sauce, especially a butter-based sauce or a cream-based sauce. And I've even seen people cook these with butter. And okay, you cook it the way you want, but I mean, I think that's kind of crazy, because lamb is already fatty enough. Why do you want to cook it in more fat and or serve it with a fattening sauce? So I'm going to serve these Greek style, and I'm not going to tell you what that is yet, because I want you to watch the video, and I think you're going to be surprised. Lamb is done, folks. Looking good. Gonna let it rest. Lamb, folks, it's what's for dinner. Have some sauteed, I have some sliced red cabbage here. Give me a nice side here. Gonna add some garlic slivers. This is actually a truffle cutter, truffle slicer, but it really works great with garlic. Nice and thin, it just melts right into the food. Look how thin that is. Even Polly couldn't do better, I don't think. Although you don't want to mess with Polly. Okay. Gonna saute that down. Not gonna cook it too long. The longer you cook food, the more flavor you cook out, the more nutrition you cook out. Little sea salt. Little sea salt. There you go. Beautiful. So folks, after it's all been said and done, here's your medium rare lamb chops, served with sauteed red cabbage with garlic. And this is sort of Greek style, where it's served with lemons and garnished with mint. And the reason behind that is the lemon cuts down on the fat, So I have a little chicken gravy for the spetzle, German style pasta. And I think this is about as good as it gets, folks. Thanks for watching. Okay, folks, this is sort of a fancy meal. I spent a lot of time and effort on it. And I actually hired 2 independent judges to judge this meal this evening. But they're only going to be judging the meat because they're not into the vegetables. So let's meet the judges. Okay, I'd like to introduce the judges this evening. The one on the left, the gray one, she's a female pit bull that was abandoned in the streets of the South Bronx 10 years ago. And believe it or not, the big one is actually her baby. So judges, I would like you to critique my lamb and tell me if it's seasoned properly and the cooking temperature is proper as well. Okay. Judge number 1. Mouse. Critique that. Seasoned well? Okay, we'll get back to that. And her son, Dodger. Do you like medium rare lamb, Dodger? Seems to be very excited. Mouse is still thinking. Okay. Another sample. Too salty? Not salty enough? Too much pepper? I need some feedback here. A little red wine sauce, perhaps, on the side? Well, I'm sorry, they're not really telling me too much, but they seem to be enjoying it. You're not on a diet, are you, Dodger? You're a big head. That's his mommy there. Big silly dogs. Another little piece of lamb? You're not driving, right? One more. One more. Last piece for the mommy. Okay, folks, I had a lot of fun tonight. Thanks for watching.